For those of you who have watched any of my other videos, you will know that I am not a button-down shirt type of guy. I am very much a t-shirt or sweatshirt or hockey jersey kind of a guy. So why am I dressed up like this? Well, because I'm going back to work today in a completely new field than anything I'd ever worked in before. For years, I was an IT manager in software development, which didn't require me to dress up very much because I was mostly working from home. But today, I'm going to start a new role as a manager in workforce development at a local nonprofit near me, which is more client facing, which means I need to look pretty. And I'm happy to do it because it's something that I have found out I have a passion for. So, how did I do it? How did I pivot careers at an age at an age when most people are told you can't do it? You are close to the finish line. You should be thankful you still have a job. You should work there until you can't work there anymore and then enjoy life in retirement. I rejected that notion, and if you do too, then this video can help you get there. The first thing I did was assessing my value and really leaning into that. What I mean by that is a lot of times if you're stuck in a role that you've been doing for a long time or at a company you've been working for a long time, you start to think that that's the only place you can work. That the skills you've learned only translate to the job you're doing and at the place you're doing it, and they won't translate anywhere else. It's not true. So, the first thing you need to do is start thinking of all of the things you do at your job and how some of those things could translate to any number of fields. A lot of times in workforce development, we talk about those soft skills, right? Active listening or emotional intelligence or leadership. All of these things look great on a resume and could translate to any number of new careers for you. So, what I'm asking for this first one is think about all of those things that you do at your job and how they can translate and really ingest them into your soul and let them start to feed you. And that will start to give you confidence for the things that we're going to talk about next, including this next one, which is being prepared to leave your comfort zone. A lot of times when we end up in work situations where we feel stuck, it's because often we took the safe decision. Rather than volunteering for that scary project or pushing to be promoted, we instead said, okay, well, I'll just stay here and do this because I can do this. It's safe. I know how to do it. I'm sure you guys have all heard the expression, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. In order to get to a different place, you need to start making different decisions. You need to get in the habit of making decisions that involve learning new skills, putting yourself in foreign environments, stretching your capabilities. For me, that's been public speaking, making videos like this. I started this YouTube channel just to get me used to preparing content and delivering content, which has led to me usually 3 or 4 times a month having public speaking engagements where I'm in front of a crowd of 20, 30 people and speaking, hopefully mostly eloquently, for an hour. And being able to not just get through it, but coming across as someone who can do this pretty regularly. And it's a good thing I have developed this because it's going to be a big part of my new role. I'm going to be a couple times a month giving presentations on things that will help people develop their skills for finding work. And I wouldn't have this skill if I had not been willing to challenge my comfort zone. Next up is figuring out where you want to pivot to, parentheses, if you can. For me, I couldn't. I was so steeped into my job and doing the best I could, even though it was becoming more and more obvious I needed to, wanted to pivot to something else, that it was really hard for me to think about what else I could be doing. However, if you are in a position where you, on your off hours, are already pursuing other things and you have a sense of where your skills might translate to and have real passions for another career path, go ahead and start getting that loaded in your brain for the next few things that we're going to talk about. The next two things I should probably separate, but I really can't, and that's networking and volunteering. They are by far the two things that I have talked about most on this channel. Rather than go back through a real deep dive into why they're so important, I will instead link videos of what I think are the most pertinent ones to networking and volunteering that will help you really dive into those two activities and get the most out of them. However, the reason why I lump them together is because they're the two things that you want to use. One, if you know what you want to pivot to, and two, if you don't know what you want to pivot to. So for me, I didn't know what I wanted to pivot to. So I started networking, which then I met someone at a networking event who was like, well, I volunteer at this place in workforce development. I think it would be a good place for you to spend some time. And I was like, well, that sounds kind of cool. And so the networking thing gave me the idea of volunteering. The volunteering thing has given me the purpose, which is what has led to the job that I'm starting today. Now, for those who do have a sense of what they already want to do, then what you'll want to do is you want to focus those networking opportunities and those volunteer opportunities as much as you can in lockstep with what that pivoting career looks like, right? So if you want to pivot into marketing, say, I know the AMA, the American Marketers Association, at least locally to me, has tons of events. It's a great way to get to know folks who are already doing marketing. I'm sure also there are probably some volunteer opportunities that need someone who is good at social media, who's good at publicizing things to help with events that those nonprofits do and things like that. So there's tons of opportunities once you have that focus, but if you don't, there are lots of opportunities to get that focus on what you want to pivot to next. My last point is be generous with your time and energy. I knew that after many years of working from home in this office, that the rest of the world didn't know me. I had a 7-year-old car that had less than 10,000 miles on it. To the people in my town or the surrounding towns, I might as well have not existed at all. So I knew that I was going to have to go on a campaign of education. One, to my immediate world that I existed and this is what I was capable of. But then to me, to figure out what other opportunities were there out there? What other things could I do? Yes, I am saying volunteer your time. And if you're starting your own small business, give away a lot of the things that you hope to charge for eventually. Give those things away for free. Because here's the thing about value, it's absolute. So if you are giving away something for free that's valuable, you're not giving it away. You're creating an indebted feeling in the people that you are giving that value to. And people that feel indebted look to repay that debt, which could lead to a position or referrals or opportunities or getting you one step closer to figuring out what that pivoting destination actually should be. That's it. That's how I did it. That's how I pivoted away from a career that no longer fit me to a career that I cannot describe how excited I am to start. And I did it all at an age when people told me it was impossible. If this video helped you at all, I would appreciate a like. I know I referenced several of my other videos in this video. Rather than having links within the video, I thought it would be a lot easier if I put those links in the description, which I will make sure to do. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I really appreciate how valuable those two things are. And we will talk again soon because I have to get ready for work.